Good morning, folks, from Studio A. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. We're North Georgia's only live online morning show. We got a lot to go over. A little snowstorm over the river and through the woods. Let me make sure I turn the volume off on these phones. Let's show you got it right there. If you would like, okay. Sorry, folks. Bear with me. If you would like to be on this show, if you would like to text me, there's my phone number. If you would like to email the show, you can agree, disagree. We have this crazy thing of freedom of speech, and while I'm on that, sometimes we get, hold on, hope that didn't sound too bad. Sometimes we get people that send us messages about our opinion page on FetcherNews.com. You do know, if you send an opinion to that email address, we will put it up for you. All right? Got this crazy thing. Our guest at 9 a.m., let's put, I know I just said, you don't have it ready. That's not her fault that she doesn't have the pictures ready. I sent them at 7:59. She was working on something else. We have a guest this morning at 9 o'clock, so we'll talk about that. Now, last Friday, there's a couple things. Number one, just give me a thumbs up when you have. Go ahead and give me number 17 when you have it. Just go ahead and do it, all right? I'm sorry that I sent the picture so late. All right, first of all, President Trump has not fired anyone, okay? Vindman, for all of you out there, is being reassigned. But what President Trump is doing right now as he continues to drain the swamp, he's escorting spies out of the White House. So when CNN and MSNBC and they're all worked up that this decorated veteran and Joe Biden says, everybody stand up and applaud Vindman. It's not the country we thought we would turn into as this brave, decorated hero is marched out of the White House. Trump could have done it a different way. Hell no, it's over. He's acquitted. It's finished. You don't wait. You don't wait. It's time. Pack your stuff. You're leaving the White House. So Alexander Vindman, and that's number 17. I know you're working on him. I know you're working with Alexander Vindman and his brother are marched out of the White House. Twins. They're twins. I think Trump said, hey, you know what? I don't want to look at, if I see him, I will think of him. Get them both out of here. Now, that being said, went down Saturday while we're getting that ready, 8:04 this morning. Went down to Atlanta Saturday to have my paperwork here to meet, but that's not exactly why I went, okay? A friend of mine, D.A. King, held a Honoring Immigrants, an expert, there they are. All right, wait a minute, stay there. An expert pro-enforcement conversation on immigration Saturday morning. So I ventured down. He will be our guest. Here we go. Here's Vindman and his brother. All right. Let's be clear. We just want to get this out of the way. Trump is removing spies from the White House. That's all that's happening here. The spies are being removed. Number 16, they're showing him all over the internet like this. They decorated, Vindman, right? And then we have, where is it? Number 24, CNN. This is all over the internet. Trump targets enemies post-impeachment. Sondland and Vindman removed from post for testimony. He's not targeting any enemies. That's not happening, okay? He is removing spies, particularly Vindman. Now, before I go any further, let's put this up, all right? And we'll just do this briefly because he is not targeting anyone. Keep Vindman's picture up there. Let's go to, do you remember this lady right here? Where was she at? Give me number 19, all right? You remember her? All right, 19, whenever you have it. Put that up. Let me see where I have it here. Got it here just really quick. See where it's at, 19. Okay, 19 is Susan Rice when she gets it in there. Again, that's my fault. I was the one that sent the pictures over late. But remember Susan Rice, Susan Elizabeth Rice, okay? Rice was on staff of the National Security Council, right? National Security Council. It was Assistant Secretary of State. National Security Council. Remember her? Now go back to the last picture you had up, all right? I just wanted to remind you, these people leave behind so much trash, okay? The whistleblower, the White House is so infiltrated with spies. Now, we're not talking about foreign Russian spies. We're not talking about Chinese spies. We're talking about our own internal spies. NSC. Now, you're going to hear President Trump, National Security Council. He is going through the National Security Council now. The acquittal is over. I mean, it's over. Impeachment's over. He's been acquitted. He's going through the National Security Council now and is cleaning house of the spies, the left behind trash in the White House. That's all that's happening. That's it. Bottom line. Now, another thing I want to talk about, all right, because I got a guest here. Let me have number 1 here. This is Tom Homan, all right? He is the former director of ICE, okay? He was in Atlanta Saturday. There's a picture, Governor Kemp, and his phone number, his office phone number. And he held it up, and he is asking you to call Governor Brian Kemp. And I'm going to let our guest, at 9 o'clock, our guest will be D.A. King. He's an immigration expert. He held, like I said, he held the pro-enforcement, an expert pro-enforcement conversation on immigration, and it was. I mean, the people there were amazing. One of our reporters and myself, we ventured down Saturday, snowstorm. I would say we had several no-shows, people worried about the weather around the state. I made it home okay, no problem in the afternoon. But we're going to let our guests tell you about that. Now, here's a picture, number 5. I enjoyed meeting this guy. If you've never watched any of the videos of Tom Homan on YouTube, you got to check him out. I like to go to these things for a couple different reasons. One, I like to see if these people are really who, you know, when you're watching one of those YouTube videos like Trump or something like that, or this guy here, you're wondering, hey, is this guy for real? Is this who he really is? You know, if you meet this person, is that who he really is? So there's 2 things. I like to meet a guy like Mr. Homan for 2 reasons. One, to see if he's the real deal, and then if he tells me Trump is the real deal, and he says the president is the real, worked for 6 presidents, 6. And he had quite a story to tell, worked for 6 presidents, Border Patrol agent for 34 years, I think. John Kelly, General John Kelly, called him when he was when Kelly was Homeland Security, Chief Homeland Security, head of Homeland Security, called him up and asked him to take the job. It said, the president wants you to have this job. And so anyhow, he talks about serving the president. He talks about the president being the real deal. We'll talk about that at our 9 o'clock hour. Now, here's something I want to go into also. Okay, number 14. So let's start a new recording. Well, yeah, let's start a new recording, and let's just do this segment. Give me number 14. Give me a thumbs up when we got a new recording, all right? All right, so I thought about putting these on the air, and I didn't. So Thursday, okay, Thursday, the President of the United States went into thank you mode, went out, talked about being acquitted. The room was packed. And you have appointed Senator Kelly Loeffler there, hashtag Ice Princess, sorry, Senator. And then you have Congressman Doug Collins, who is running for Senate. They're both running for Senate. Now, everybody is chasing behind Kelly and her husband to see if there's any of their pocket change falls off the dresser and they can get it. They're not sending me any. I didn't get a damn dime. But everybody, I mean everybody, are following the Ice Princess around for money. Now, that's just my opinion, okay? Do you think this woman wants to be senator so she can defend the unborn? Do you think this woman wants to be senator so she can protect my conservative values? Really? She was sitting at home, and her passion to be senator was, there's some people up there in North Georgia, and they're concerned about their conservative values. And you know what? People are concerned about the unborn and the Second Amendment. And some people are concerned that some Republicans would like to take Donald Trump down. I better become senator to protect all those values. Now, I just don't think so. Again, I'm not endorsing Doug Collins, but I do not think Kelly Loeffler wanted to be senator so she could protect my values. I just don't. Now, that being said, last week, all right, the president gave 2 shout-outs. So you got a room full, okay? You got a room full of people. And you've got a person that cast a vote, and you have a person that defended the president, Doug Collins. Kelly Loeffler did nothing since she's been in Senate except for cast a vote, okay? Cast a vote and say not guilty. Yeah, well, say not guilty on the President of the United States twice. That's it. That's all she's done. All right? So we thank her for that. We want to thank the senator for saying not guilty. But then her handlers came in and made her a couple videos as the farm girl and waiting table. More coffee, please. Would you like more coffee? She waited tables. She's a farm girl. Why? Everybody's attacking the president. It's got to stop. And then her handlers came in and said, we've got to, now I don't know. You can look this up and tell me if I'm right or wrong. You can tell me if I'm right or wrong. But, okay, so then her handler said, what you need to do is you need to attack Mitt Romney. Because didn't you give $750,000? Now, I don't know. Is it $75,000, $7,500, $750,000? It's a pretty good, what are the kids calling it, cheddar? It's a pretty good cheddar, change. Are the kids still calling it cheddar? They're not? When was that? When did they stop calling it cheddar? Trying to get some intel there from the booth. But anyhow, that's a pretty good change, right? She gave Mitt Romney. They're still searching with a magnifying glass for that penny she gave Donald Trump during the presidential campaign. Zip, zero, zilch. Yeah, still looking for it. Then, still trying to find the money she gave Brian Kemp. I better not say anything. Got to be careful. Maybe just saying. Okay, so anyhow, we're still looking for the money she gave Brian Kemp. And all the pictures she took with Brian Kemp during the campaign. If you go on Google, you write pictures of Kelly Loeffler and candidate Brian Kemp. It's hard to find them. But you can find her and Stacey Abrams. So she cast a vote. Now you take on the other hand, Congressman Doug Collins fought for the president. Congressman Doug Collins led the way in the Judiciary Committee fighting those 2 articles of impeachment that were sent over. Okay? It is his leadership on the Judiciary Committee, when they actually voted and had hearings on the articles after Adam Schiff, it's his leadership and the Republicans down through there that went to battle. That's the only way I could put it. He sent Mitch McConnell the best battle plan. Him and others sat down with the presidents. Him and others on the intelligence and judiciary sat down with the president's legal defense team, Pat Cipollone. They sit down with him. They went through what the House just sent over. They went through Sondland's testimony. They went through Vindland's testimony. They went through Yovanovitch's testimony. They went through all of it. I have to continue to say I'm not endorsing Doug Collins, but when I look at the screen, I see the battle for the presidency, and I see a vote. Nothing more than a vote. I can't help that. All right. Now, that being said, okay, the president gave a shout, spun everybody out of control. Everybody got spun out of control. So here's the scene, and we're going to go there, okay? So Thursday, the president of the United States up there, he's no teleprompter, all right? No teleprompter. Just saying. And Mitch McConnell, because we're going to break this down. Mitch McConnell, all right? Let's go with number 23 real quick. The National Republican Senate Committee, all right? I said, the one with the elephant on it. All right? There you go. National Republican Senate Committee. I sent two 23s, right? They need money, baby. Money. Then let's look at number 22. What the hell? Did I send two 22s also? Give me the other one. That's not it. I got to quit doubling up here. Give me the second 22. Democrat Amy McGrath enters 2020 race with 9 million war chest in Senate race against Mitch McConnell. Now, if you look at the date, that's 1/9/20. It's not 2 years ago. January 9th, not even a month ago. She got $9 million in her pocket, Amy McGrath. Who is she running against? Mitch McConnell. Could Mitch McConnell possibly need some help? Hey, Jeffrey Speecher, you own the New York Stock Exchange. We got your wife's the damn Senate seat. That's what you wanted. We put the squeeze on the governor. Just saying it could have happened, damn it. I don't know. Put the squeeze on the governor. I'm over here squeezing the damn president. So here's what concerns me. I don't know. Hell, I don't want to get sued, but I probably will. I'm not asking for no damn money from these people. But what if the pressure's on McConnell that if you don't get Collins' ass out of the race and you don't get the president to come out publicly, what if they're telling him where to pick up the check and when all these things check off, you can have that money, Mitch. Now, let me tell you something. Do I think Mitch could lose in Kentucky? I don't know. But I know Amy McGrath is a serious candidate. Fighter pilot, I think first woman fighter pilot, active, I don't know. Serious candidate, $9 million. Now, here's another one. You got to pay attention to all of this. Because Loeffler's people are slick. They tried to pull a fast one this weekend, and it backfired. Hell, what's the other one I want? Didn't I have another one? Let's go with number 21. There we go. The 2020 candidates got together to discuss one of the biggest threats. No, not Donald Trump. Mitch McConnell. They all got together to talk about it. They need to get rid of Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell's the one that brought Brett Kavanaugh to confirmation. Neil Gorsuch to confirmation. Record number. I mean, they've got to bring McConnell down. Why do you think McGrath's got $9 million in the bank ready to go after this guy? Mitch McConnell goes to the President of the United States and says, look, if you think, let me get this straight, okay? I want to be clear with anybody that may be viewing this. If you think all of a sudden Mitch McConnell is a different kind of guy and he has respect, love, and admiration for the President of the United States, let me tell you, if everything was flipped in the different world, McConnell would get rid of Trump so fast. Do not get confused. Am I happy that McConnell handled things the way he did? Yes. Am I pleased? Yes. But I'm pleased based on the situation, not overall where this guy's concerned. So he goes to the President of the United States. He says, man, you can't stand in the room and give a big shout out to Doug Collins. This is my opinion, okay? All of a sudden, the president's getting pounded. You cannot stand in that room and give this glowing shout out to Doug Collins. The president's like, man, this is my friend. This is my friend. This guy's a warrior. This guy went to battle for me. Not votes, battle. This guy didn't sleep at night. He got in front of every damn TV camera to let the American people know this was a sham. What was one of the most famous comments that was going around, a clock and a calendar, Doug Collins. So but you got to give Kelly a shout out. Now, go ahead and play the shout out to Kelly Loeffler, the Ice Princess.
We can say that Mike Lee is by far the most popular senator from the state. But you've done a fantastic job, Mike, in many ways. In many ways. A young woman who I didn't know at all, but she's been so supportive, and I've had great support from other people in that state, and she's been so supportive, and she's been downright nasty and mean about the unfairness to the president. And Kelly Loeffler, I appreciate very much. Thank you. Great. She saw it very early on. And we have, I don't know if we have other.
All right, all she got was Kelly Loeffler. I appreciate very much. You came here, you did your votes. Now, if you watch the shout-outs that President Trump was giving that day, all right, the accolades he is handing out. He just finished with Mike Lee, all right? And, I mean, he told in a really amusing story with Senator Mike Lee, Mr. President, we have one holdout on this. Oh, God, it's Mike Lee, isn't it? It was really good. I mean, President Trump went through, and he gave out really personal accolades. Some people liked him, some people didn't. And he did a thank you to the people that stood up and defended him, okay? If you listen to the shout out he gave Kelly Loeffler, all right? Now, the president's not on a teleprompter. If you look at the shout out he gave Kelly Loeffler, if you look at the whole thing, it was like, all right, I checked the box. This doesn't really fit here. Kelly, I appreciate you. Now let's move to the next one because you're in the room. I'm getting a lot of pressure. Now let's listen to the shout out that spun the AJC's head off, okay, and speculation around the state. Let's listen to the shout out for Congressman Doug Collins.
Bradley Byrne, Alabama. What a great place. Thank you, Bradley. A man who has been an unbelievable friend of mine and spokesman and somebody that I really like. And I know, Kelly, you're going to end up liking him a lot. Something's going to happen that's going to be very good. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. But Doug Collins, where is he? Where is Doug? You have been so great. Thank you very much, Doug. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you. Really amazing job. A young man who is born with a great gene, because I know.
Okay. Folks, how did the AJC spin that into, I don't know what's going to happen, how did they spin that? How can you not study the President of the United States? How did you come up with, oh my God, it's spun? Now, my opinion is the Loeffler camp jumped on it and wanted to get the word out that Doug was going to get offered a job. I got a call last week. Oh, Doug's going to get offered a job. Kelly doesn't want a job. If she's not senator, what would she want? She wouldn't want a job, so it's Doug that's going to get a job. They ran with it. The Loeffler camp, Doug's going to get a job, and he's going to back out. I said to someone last week, really? You did not figure out it's just that simple? Like, hey, Mitch, I gave her a shout out. I did what I was supposed to. I'm sorry, Kelly, you're going to like this guy. This is my friend. What more did you hear? This is my friend. Now, the lie that goes around that Doug Collins did not answer the phone for the President of the United States. There was rumor floating around that the President of the United States called Congressman Collins to beg him, don't do it, Doug. And Doug looked down at the phone and I'm not taking the President's call. Lie. Right here on this show, just days before his announcement, he said it would be about a week or so. We hit the target on our show. He said, we've been talking with the president. I'm going to tell you right now, the president did not tell Doug Collins not to run. I don't know. I don't want to say I don't know anything about politics, but I'm going to tell you right now, President Donald Trump looked at Congressman Doug Collins and said, don't do it, okay? This is the kind of guy the President of the United States is with his friends. Rudy Giuliani's his friend. He don't throw him, when will President throw Rudy Giuliani? It's his friend, damn it. This is his friend. Mitch, I know Speecher owns the New York Stock Exchange. I understand the money behind this. I understand deep pockets. I understand he's got $30 million, billion to buy eBay just like that. I understand. This is my friend. So this past weekend, a lot of speculation. Congressman Collins, it's a Facebook. Can you play the Facebook? Congressman Collins released this Facebook video with his wife Lisa this weekend to let you know he's in the race. So let's play that.
Hey everyone, it's Doug Collins. What an incredible last 10 days it's been. Over the last 10 days, we saw the end of sham impeachment. I've been fighting against that for the last year and the overreach of the Democrats for a long time. And last week, we saw that come to an end with the acquittal of our president. Also, the last 10 days saw us announced for Senate in the state of Georgia. And over the past few weeks, we have been preparing for this race to go all over the state of Georgia. In fact, Lisa and I came back from Wilkinson County this morning where we participated in a pheasant hunt with our local law enforcement from several counties down there. It was a great time to be with the men and women of Middle Georgia and hear about their concerns and about how they have their vision for the state and our future. We're going to be carrying this vision all over the state because I'm in this to win it. We're going to be in it for the entire year and we're going to focus on the things that matter. I've always said that there's 3 reasons that I've run for public office, and they're Jordan, Copeland, and Cameron. They're my 3 kids because they're only special to me, but they represent your kids, your nieces, your nephews, your friends, your family, your next door neighbors, because it's about the future. It's about ensuring a conservative future for those that are coming behind us. It's about taking to Washington the common sense values of the state of Georgia and how we can work on things that matter to all people, how we can work on criminal justice reform, how we can continue to work on our tax code, how we continue to make our economy better, and how our unemployment is down, and how we make better, stronger trade deals, and how we have a military that is safe and one that actually takes care of our well-being around the world. When we put focus on that, then I'll take the values that I've had as a pastor, as a military chaplain, and as a lawyer to take those values to the state of Georgia and to Washington, D.C. So get ready. Be a part of our journey. Go to collinsforgeorgia.com. Volunteer. Be a part of this great journey as we take back this state with conservative values to win this Senate seat.
All right, now I normally don't play campaign commercials, and that's not, quote, a commercial, I guess, but that was this weekend. He's not out. Nobody offered him a job. The AJC read something into it, the Loeffler campaign. Now, let me read something to you, because somebody called me last week. It said, what did you think? What do you think? I mean, my phone, what do you think? And I had an individual that has ties to the Loeffler, actually is a, let me see here. Okay, I got it. Now, I want to be careful, but this is a surrogate for Kelly Loeffler, okay? The more I think about it, okay, the more I think about it, the more I think about the president may have just been talking off the cuff. I don't know what do you, I don't know. What do you think? So one of her surrogates, which is pretty high up in the campaign, sends me that message. Hey, the more I think about it, the president was just talking off the cuff. This is my response. I always thought that. He was on no teleprompter. It was the AJC that was reading too much into it. As I said last week, do you know how it would look if Doug backed out after announcing and took a job? Do you know how it would look if he backed out and took a job? Okay? Trump was just expressing how much pressure he is under from Mitch McConnell to support Kelly. It's real simple. Mitch did a good job, but Doug is his friend, so the campaign goes on. I didn't get a response from that. It's that simple, folks. That simple. Doug is still in the race. The Loeffler campaign, everybody got their heads spinning out of joint. Now I want to do one more thing on this segment, and then we'll take a break, okay? Running long, but I'm not done. Number 24, okay? Because I was thinking over the weekend, do these people really, huh? Which 24? I got two 24s also. Hold on there. The one with Kelly and her husband. Thank you. My bad. No, not that one. The next 20. There you go. That's Jeffrey Speecher, I think his name is. Now, I'm going to finish up because I do not dislike Kelly Loeffler. I don't know her. I'm just trying to figure out how Governor Brian Kemp thought that Kelly Loeffler would end up being the billionaires there, would end up being who he thought would defend, believe, understand my conservative values, your conservative values. I mean, this is the one that went in. They wrote her bullet points on what she believes, and part of it was being mean to Mitch Romney. Now, did she get a new plane? I don't know. I don't have any idea if she got a new plane. But sources tell me that she might be riding in a new plane. Like you get a new car, she gets a new plane. Here's a good story, and I'm going to tell you why you need to keep an eye on this. Okay? And what really gets me is Brian Kemp, the governor, which I understand the alternative was Stacey Abrams, but Brian Kemp, the governor, has really tried to get you and I to believe this is who can bring women back to the Republican Party in suburban Atlanta. Really? I don't think so. This is a story this morning or yesterday afternoon from the Rome News Tribune over in Rome. And it's by Alan Judd and from the Journal, Constitutional Atlanta Journal. Super swampy Kelly Loeffler faces tricky ethical dilemma as senator. Now stay with me. The images, okay, the images stretch the life of a The images sketch the life of a small town girl in middle America. She rides a tractor. She shows prize cow, wearing pink and white striped waitress apron. She takes orders at a local diner, grew up on the family farm, working in the field, showing cattle. Kelly Loeffler, Georgia's newly appointed U.S. Senator, says as a campaign ads trace her girlhood, I waited tables through school and spent Sunday in church. Through it all, I learned hard work and results really matter. So let me get to this. But it is Loeffler's big city career in finance, mostly an Atlanta-based owner of the New York Stock Exchange, that propelled her to the Senate and into one of the trickiest ethical dilemmas in recent congressional history. Where is the surrogates on that? Did Brian Kemp look at the ethical dilemma that this senator would be in before he stood up? Or AJC article, remember that grain company or whatever in Kentucky that Brian Kemp loaned $500,000 to and they went bankrupt? Just for some way, a commodities company made them whole. Not me, AJC. Maybe ethical. When she joined the Senate Agricultural Committee, Loeffler became an overseer of the overseers of the company that made her rich, International Exchange, or ICE. International Exchange. Now, here's the question I have. We're going to end this. Really, Governor? Now, my understanding when I say that, okay, you could send me the facts if you have facts out there, Loeffler campaign, that the International Exchange, ICE, their company, has 2 jets, maybe Gulfstreams. I heard Gulfstreams, private jets. So, this is just what I'm hearing through the grapevine. You heard it here. So I understand when she became senator, she was flying back and forth on the private jet, right? And then I heard the Senate Ethics Commission or whatever said, whoa, hold the jet fuel there, Kelly. You can't be flying back and forth and be on a committee and be a senator on the Intercontinental Exchange private jet. You can't do that. Now, just hearing, I don't know if it's true, I need confirmation, that maybe her husband went out and bought her a new jet, maybe, and put her own private air marshal on the new jet to fly back and forth to D.C. That would not be a conflict. There's a solution, right? Just saying. I don't know. Folks, Collins is in the race. President Trump says, this is my friend. Kelly Loeffler is being pushed by Mitch McConnell so he can get a little cheddar. The kids don't say that anymore. Change, that's my opinion. Because he's up against a $9 million war chest, Amy McGrath. Plus, he would like to not lose the Senate. Swampy at the highest level. I'm going to take a break, and I'll be right back.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Better days ahead. Kick off 2020 with huge savings at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, like a new 2020 Chevy Colorado, now discounted up to $6,300, or get a new 2020 Equinox, now discounted up to $8,400. The selection is big, and the savings are huge on every car, truck, and SUV during the 2020 kickoff sale at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead, Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Hey folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. We're going to have a guest on, D.A. King, for about 30 minutes at 9 o'clock. And then the last 30 minutes of the show, we're going to wrap up with, again, talking about New Hampshire. Now, let me just say this. We said this a year ago, okay? And let me just go here. Give me number, let's go with number 22. All right. So nationally right now, this is the national polling. Sanders 25, Biden 24, Bloomberg 15, Buttigieg 12, and likely Democrat primary voters. Okay. This is some polling. Now look at Michael Bloomberg over Pete Buttigieg. Now, do you think Bloomberg will be the nominee? Here's the interesting thing. Number 21, and let me get to this. Number 21, okay, the other 21. I will work harder not to do that, duplicate numbers. But here's the Iowa, 41 delegates, okay. They've decided to allocate the delegates, so their Buttigieg is the winner. Sanders. Now, they are determined Sanders will not be the nominee. Now, let me just say something here to the camera so you're clear. There's no such thing as the moderate wing of the Democrat Party. No such thing. Okay? Buttigieg is rising in the polls, and Biden is dropping like a rock, and all of the MSNBC, CNN, ABC saying that Democrat voters are moving to the moderate side, the moderate candidate of the party, as opposed to the Democrat socialist Bernie Sanders. No difference, okay? It is like saying the voters are moving to the moderate side of Nancy Pelosi's party versus AOC. Would you name a Democrat out there today that represents the moderate side of the party? Joe Manchin of West Virginia? He just voted to impeach. He heard everything. He knows it was a scam. He knows it was an attempt to unseat a president. It's a coup. And he voted guilty on both counts. Let's go with, really quick, let's go with, do I have her here? Let's go with number 15. Okay? The lady in the blue dress. That's Pop-Up Barbie. Pop-Up Barbie, right? Guess what? That's Sinema, right? Senator Sinema from Arizona, the Democrat, that was applauding President Trump during the State of the Union. She knows it's a sham. She knows the impeachment was all set up. She knows it's a coup. It was all made up to try to get the president, try to nullify your vote, remove the president. She knows it was an attempt to try to get him off the ballot. She voted guilty on 2 counts. So keep in mind, go back to the first 21 there we had with Pete Buttigieg, okay? Keep in mind, there's no such thing as the moderate side of the Democrat Party. No such thing, all right? Now, 25. So right now, they're arguing, and I'm going to do this at 9:30, okay? Biden called someone a long-faced, horse-faced liar or whatever. Bernie, they're saying he won't release his medical records after the heart attack, so they're trying to bring him down. They're determined, okay? Warren, whoever thought Warren was going to be the nominee, and Amy Klobuchar is rising in the polls. But then there's the boy who would be king, Pete Buttigieg, okay? Now, I'm going to get into this really deep at 9 o'clock, 9:30, all right, after our guest. Remember, was it a year ago that I said to you, it might be a year ago, when he first got into the race, I watched Chris Wallace, okay? I watched every one, Fox, all of them, create the candidate. I said on this show right here, I get the video when he got in the race. I may not have said these exact words. Here was this gay little mayor. He's gay, little mayor. He's skipping down the new sidewalks that he just poured at South Bend, Indiana, dreaming of his soon-to-be husband. Okay, this is true. He couldn't wait for his wedding. He was like a bride that could not wait. Okay, he's skipping down the sidewalk, South Bend, Indiana. This is true. He's gay. Okay, and a black SUV pulls up, and they throw him inside. What are we doing? We need to talk to you, Mr. Mayor Pete Buttigieg. We know you lost by like 20 points. He ran a statewide race, lost over 20 points, by over 20 points to his opponent. We know you're mayor, and we know the biggest thing you've ever done was pour sidewalks, okay? But we think you could be president. These guys, black sunglasses. What? But I'm going to be married. I'm in love. I have a husband. I'm soon to have a husband. I mean, we're thinking about children. I know what you're saying out there. You're like, really? But seriously, right? So this is what I think. So the black SUV said, here's what I want to tell you. Joe Biden is done, right? Is he done? Now, the media wants to lead you to believe that black voters can't wait in South Carolina to go vote for Joe Biden. That's wrong, okay? Bernie, they have to get rid of, okay? They have to get rid of. Elizabeth Warren, New Hampshire's it. She's out of money. Amy Klobuchar might get enough money to compete in South Carolina. But then there's the boy who would be king, right? Now, do you think Mike Bloomberg and I want to ask this question, do you think Mike Bloomberg wants to be president of the United States? Do you? Bloomberg put out an ad, be presidential again. Bring back presidential, okay? He is blowing up Facebook, Instagram, I don't know where all, Twitter. He is blowing up all the TV commercials, right? Do you think Michael Bloomberg wants to be president of the United States? What if, let me give you this scenario. What if Michael Bloomberg ends up pulling out of the race after he clears the field and puts his kind of money behind the boy who would be king? What if? I don't know. What if this is all timed out? You really see Mike Bloomberg now? Did he get the major endorsement of Barack Obama? Now, Buttigieg was the hashtag white Obama, right? But this guy right here, what if? Do you see Donald Trump running against Michael Bloomberg? I don't know. But what if Bloomberg's money falls in behind Pete Buttigieg? Right? Well, he can't be president. I don't think anybody can beat Donald Trump at this time. But let me say this, okay? For all of you at home. The American people elected not once, twice, a young man standing on a corner. And he wasn't in Winslow, Arizona. He was in Chicago. And he was handing out pamphlets as a community organizer. See, Barack Obama was standing on a corner handing out pamphlets as a community organizer. And the black SUV rolled in and pulled him in. They said, here, man, we've got an opening for Senate. We're going to throw you in the Senate seat. Then when you get to D.C., we'll manage everything, and then you're running for president. But I'm just a guy standing on the corner handing out, community organized. I'm just telling women where they can go get an abortion. You're going to be president. Did the same black, I don't know. I've asked this question over and over. Did the same black SUV pull up to Pete Buttigieg? Now, one more thing. I know all the, let's go out there, the headlines this morning. Let's go to number 11. Economy added a robust 225,000 jobs in January, defying worker shortages. Now, how do you defy worker shortages? People are coming back into the workforce. Now, I'm going to say this jokingly, but parents are finally feeling comfortable that they won't hurt Junior's feelings by saying, get the hell out of here and get a job. Get out of the damn house and go find, don't come back without a job. You're not staying here. You're going to start paying your own bills. Okay? The the people that left the workforce are coming back. Now this I think there was like 160,000 expected. It was 225. Lowest black unemployment, Latino or Latina unemployment, Hispanic, whatever. Lowest Asian, lowest female unemployment ever recorded. And that's not the headlines. And Tim Scott, Senator of South Carolina, said Donald Trump is probably at 30% or higher with black voters. And they want you to believe that black voters in South Carolina can't wait for Joe Biden to get there? I don't think so. We're going to take a break. When we come back, my good friend D.A. King will be our guest. So take a break.
Circuit World has 9-piece living room packages at incredible prices. Get this stylish sofa and love seat, 3 tables, 2 lamps, 43-inch 4K TV, and stand, all for only $1699.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this 9-piece living room and reclining sofa and reclining love seat, now only $1999.99 or $149.99 a month. These packages are amazing. Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
I'm Jeff Riblett, President of Asset Protection Group. As a certified financial planner and with 20 years experience, I've helped thousands of families and business owners create a tremendous amount of wealth. Fortunately, most of that wealth has been protected. Don't allow an unforeseen life event, such as a nursing home stay or the next market meltdown, destroy your family's wealth. Be smart. Call me. Let's determine how best to protect your assets and preserve your wealth.
In 1981, Reed Nicholson began selling tires out of an old barn in Mineral Bluff. Little did he know that he had just laid the groundwork for the most trusted names in automotive services in the Blue Ridge area. In 1997, Nicholson Tire Center became what it is today, holding the same values of faith, family, and great customer service. 2 locations to serve you, and the Blue Ridge location is currently expanding to offer fast service and the largest U-Haul provider in Georgia. Nicholson Tire Center, Blue Ridge, and Mineral Bluff.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Better days ahead.
Kick off 2020 with huge savings at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, like a new 2020 Chevy Colorado, now discounted up to $6,300. Or get a new 2020 Equinox, now discounted up to $8,400. The selection is big, and the savings are huge on every car, truck, and SUV during the 2020 kickoff sale at Days Chevrolet in Jasper, where new Chevys always cost less.
Better days ahead. Days Chevrolet.
Find new roads.
Okay, folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office, North Georgia's only live online morning show. Let me remind you quickly, you can always text me at 706-889-9700 or email me, chief@fetchernews.com. Before we bring in our guests, let me make a couple opening comments. And let me say it this way. I want to ask you out there, are you satisfied? Now, the media is talking about putting gambling on the ballot to let the citizens of Georgia talk about maybe making gambling legal. The media is talking about campaign promises to teachers. We love our teachers, but keeping a campaign promise to teachers. The media is talking about the budget cuts the governor wants, all kinds of things. But remember number 3. Put that up for me. You remember then candidate Brian Kemp telling us, remember the big truck? Remember he had that big truck and he's going to deport criminal illegals? And you remember then governor. Now, don't forget, I like my governor because I always know the alternative. But remember when he promised us that he was going to round them up and take them to the border himself? Let's play this quick campaign commercial before we get our guest in here. Let's play this quick campaign commercial from then candidate Brian Kemp. Play that for us.
Kate Steinle, Edwin Jackson, and the Cannon family, all killed by illegal immigrants. Donald Trump is right. We must secure the border and end sanctuary cities.
As Secretary of State, Brian Kemp fought Obama twice and won to stop illegal immigrants from voting.
I'll do the same as your governor. I'll enforce the ban on sanctuary cities and track and immediately deport all criminal aliens so our kids don't become the next victims.
Conservative businessman Brian Kemp for governor, putting Georgians first.
All right, folks, we know the big truck commercial. We know that commercial. Real quick, going to get our guest in here, but give me number 2 right there, number 2. This is a picture of Tom Homan. He is the former director of ICE. Why was he in Atlanta Saturday? And why is he holding up with D.A. King, Governor Brian Kemp's phone number and asking you to call? And that's where we bring in our guest, D.A. King. D.A., good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Brian. Doing fine, thank you.
Been trying to build up as much anticipation as I can for you to tell us, one, why Tom Homan's holding that sign up and why he's in Atlanta. And also we have the weekend honoring immigrants, an expert pro-enforcement conversation on immigration. That was Saturday. You had several great guests. I don't want to go all the way to the end, but can I share something personal? I want to apologize to Kathy Inman because the Dustin Inman Society, Dustin was killed. This is in Ellijay, Georgia. I broadcast every day from Ellijay, Georgia. And I'm trying to not get emotional, DA, because I had to go all the way to Atlanta to meet Kathy Inman and hear her speak. Give me number 8 real quick. And this lady is in a wheelchair. And she's in a wheelchair. There's Kathy. And I heard her talk about crying out in the morning for Billy and Dustin to help her, crying out in the morning. And then I heard and I've read, do you realize, just stop and think about not only waking up from an auto accident, but waking up to find out your son is dead and he's already been buried. Back to DA. DA, I didn't mean to take that, but I have to open up with my apology to Kathy Inman for not meeting her before Saturday.
Well, I don't think an apology is necessary, but I understand, and I'm grateful for the time. For people who may be a little confused, I am president of something called the Dustin Inman Society. We are a 501c4 IRS nonprofit corporation. We've been operating here in Georgia since 2005, and we have a goal of educating people on the crime, I believe organized crime of illegal immigration, which, folks, is largely caused by illegal employment. It's named after a young man who was forever 16. That was Dustin Inman. He was killed on Father's Day weekend in the year 2000, right there in Ellijay in front of the Burger King, when an illegal alien ran into the back of the Inman family car. So to catch up, we had a forum here in Atlanta on Saturday, and in which we had guest speakers. Tom Homan was the guest speaker, a very nice lady named Marianne Mendoza, who was working with something called Angel Families, Jessica Vaughn from the Center for Immigration Studies, and my friend George Rodriguez, who does a radio show in Texas. And what we did was we talked about illegal immigration for 4 hours, and Kathy was there. And I'd like to point out that illegal immigration is not just a crime, but it's certainly not a victimless crime. And most people who were there could see it. I regret that the weekend we did this, that we had a surprise snowstorm. It cost about a third of the people who had signed up to come were unable to make it. I'm grateful for you being there, Brian.
Thank you, DA. And you know, my friend the Marine here knows I get up early, so about 5:30 Saturday morning, I get a text message saying it's all dry and clear down in Atlanta. So, but you know what, DA, I enjoyed the 4 hours, and when I say enjoyed, the information that you guys put out. Could you do me a favor? Could you highlight a little bit of Jessica Vaughn? Now, Jessica Vaughn is from the Center for Immigration Studies, and she gave amazing facts and figures that night. Can you highlight a little bit your friendship with her and what she was doing there Saturday?
Well, Jessica Vaughn is a walking encyclopedia on stats and facts. I was driving Tom Homan from the airport Friday night, and Tom even alluded to me that sometimes he asked questions of Jessica Vaughn. As far as the actual facts and statistics, I would encourage people to go on Jessica's blog on CIS.org. But some basic facts, and I try to keep this focused on Georgia, because Georgia is home to more people in the country illegally, properly called illegal aliens, than green card holders. And when I first learned that last year, after studying this issue for 20 years, it just pushed me back in my chair. I want to say it again. Georgia is home to more illegal aliens than green card holders. Green card is what describes a real legal immigrant, like my adopted sister or my neighbor across the street. And one thing I'd like to make clear, Brian, and Jessica and I were talking about this, the Open Borders Lobby, which includes a large part of corporate America, wants us to sit down and be quiet when we talk about stopping illegal immigration and securing our borders by calling us names, including, but not limited to, anti-immigrant or anti-immigration. So the bizarre part of this, if you stand up in a room like we did on Saturday and say we should secure our borders and enforce our immigration laws with an equal application of the law, then you are labeled anti-immigrant. And I like for people to understand this. If we don't make any other point today than this, to illustrate the difference between an immigrant and an illegal alien, I hope people will remember that immigrants do not require amnesty. They don't require any legalization. They don't require some special program from the government to be legal here. Immigrants are legal and they don't require amnesty. Illegal aliens do.
DA, listen, I want to work our way up to Tom Homan, the former ICE director, being here, and the phone number. I'm just trying to highlight some this morning. I want to continue to thank you over and over for setting this up, because I got to meet Marianne Mendoza. And can you tell us a little about Angel Moms and Angel Families? And she was here this weekend, folks. Tell us a little bit about Marianne Mendoza, some of the conversations you've had with her, and what she's out doing all across this country.
Marianne is just one of the nicest. She's one of the kindest, nicest people I have ever met, and I'm almost 68 years old. Marianne works with a group called Angel Families or Angel Moms, and they raise money and educate people for the victims of illegal alien crime, like Kathy Inman. Marianne Mendoza spent almost 2 months here last summer after Billy Inman died of a heart attack, taking care of Kathy in her home here in Woodstock, Georgia, and rebuilt her bathroom, rebuilt her refinished her living room, and generally fixed up the home that Kathy lives in now, which is the home that she raised Dustin in. Marianne Mendoza works for Angel Moms. I encourage people to Google it. What we did on Saturday, and I'm grateful for you bringing this up, but what we were trying to do is get more people than just D.A. King talking about illegal immigration in Georgia, because it is an issue. And I, as part of my presentation when I opened on Saturday, I try to make people understand that I've been studying this issue for 20 years. I have absolutely zero confidence that Congress is going to do anything in a pro-enforcement direction on immigration. And I have been working for 17 years on the state level, and we have been successful in getting laws passed here in Georgia that should and will discourage illegal immigration, which again is caused by illegal employment. So I'm trying to get people in Georgia talking about this again. 10 years ago, you couldn't pick up a newspaper or a news piece and not read something about illegal immigration. And about the beginning of the Nathan Deal term in office, it was judged to be too radical a topic and unprofitable to discourage illegal immigration, because corporate Georgia wants the black market labor. And there's no other way to say that. To illustrate that very quickly, there is a group here called Galeo that lobbies against any enforcement of our immigration laws. And they lobby in the Capitol, and they lobby in the mayor's office, and they will call anybody who disagrees with them on enforcement a bunch of names. Who is Galeo funded by? The Coca-Cola Corporation, Georgia Power, Southwest Airlines, a host of immigration lawyers. It is corporate Georgia that is financing the groups who go to the Capitol and talk to the elected officials about not passing a bill, or even yet not enforcing the laws that we have already passed.
DA, I want to move over to Tom Homan, but first, could you put up number 9? This is Marianne Mendoza. I just wanted to bring her up, show the folks at home. This is Marianne Mendoza. This is a picture of her. I took this picture afterwards. I went up. I wanted to meet her. This is a picture of her at her son, police officer, I think, in Mesa, Arizona, I think, am I correct?
Yes,
and
that's right.
That's a picture of her at the cemetery where she visits her son now, former police officer of Mesa, Arizona, a illegal, high on meth, 3 times the legal limit of alcohol, going the wrong way, killed her son. So,
and her son was a cop.
And her son, and her son a cop. And the reason I want to get up to that, okay, because we know Marianne has been to the White House with the President of the United States. We know Kathy Inman right here in Ellijay, Georgia. Now let's go back, take her picture down. And let's put up number 2, just really quick. This is a picture of Tom Homan, former ICE director. He's holding up a sign that says Governor Kemp, a phone number right there next to D.A. King. And let's go back to D.A. D.A., now, one of the reasons, when you first sent this out and asked us, and I want to tell you how much I appreciate it. I think we were the only media outlet in the room. And one of the reasons I said, hey, I'm going to drive down there because Tom Homan, every time I get an opportunity to meet somebody like Tom Homan, there's 2 things I want to know. Is this guy that I see in all these Senate committee hearings or House committee hearings, is this really who he is? And is this person as close to President Donald Trump? Is Trump the real deal? I mean, it's 2 questions. Anytime I see somebody like that, I go. I mean, I was not going to miss finding out if this guy was the, who we see on TV and if the president's the real deal. Well, I'm walking into the hotel to find our meeting room, and I get a phone call from a friend from Ellijay, and he says, hey, Tom Homan is just on Fox and Friends throwing the governor, Brian Kemp, under the bus. That was the quote he said. I said, wow. So I come in, I start talking to you. Talk to us a little bit about Mr. Homan, exactly what we're talking about with him on Fox and Friends, and some of the statements he made about our governor and some of the comments he made. Go ahead there, DA.
I will. And I don't know how much time we have. If there's longer than 30 minutes, I'm willing to stay. On your question on Tom Homan is a 34-year-old law enforcement officer who finished his career, as you mentioned, as the acting director of ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement. Tom Homan is a bulldog. I don't know what other word.
The real
to use.
deal,
he
man.
Is a cop. He is the real deal, and bulldog, I think, are probably the best two terms. I heard Tom speak in Washington last fall, and when I decided to try to replicate the event that I was at in Washington here in Georgia, he was the first person that I thought of and really the anchor for my event, which was, by the way, an incredible amount of work and expense. Tom came with no speaking fee. We bought his airline ticket. I picked him up from the airport on Friday, and I educated him on the hour drive from the airport to the hotel on what was going on here in Georgia on illegal immigration, and what now Governor Brian Kemp promised us when he was a candidate for governor. And I will never forget the promise of the big truck. I now call it the big truck trick. But I explained all this to Tom Homan on the drive home, and when I had breakfast with him the next morning before the event on Saturday, he told me, he says, look, I appreciate what you told me, but I called some of my ICE buddies here in Georgia to check out what you said, check you out, and check out what the governor has done, and asked them if I should mention this on national TV. All of them said, DA, you know what you're talking about. And yes, the governor deserves and needs some encouragement on national TV. So I saw the Fox and Friends piece. Tom Homan is the real deal. Tom Homan is very, very close to the President of the United States, and I'm proud to say that I was assured by Tom Saturday afternoon when the event was over that President Trump would hear a lot more about Georgia and illegal immigration and Governor Brian Kemp than he ever has before.
Well, Homan mentioned that I think he speaks to the president every other week, and they're friends, and he said President Trump is the real deal on illegal aliens, the illegals. He says he's the real deal, and I think you're 100% right, DA. I can't see how the next time Mr. Homan speaks to the President of the United States, a couple things about Georgia is not going to come up in the conversation. So I think it was a home run. We're going to get the President's ear here in Georgia. Let's go to, and we're not in a big rush here, but we got a couple minutes. Let's go to, if you don't mind, if you want back up to Tom, let's go to the phone number all day long of why, Tom, you encourage everybody to call the governor and what happens when you do call.
Well, there are multiple reasons for calling Governor Kemp's office. First of all, top on the list is Governor Kemp, as a candidate, got much of the votes in the electorate because he promised to track and deport criminal illegals, unquote. He had a very detailed campaign pledge of legislation that he was going to introduce and get passed in the Gold Dome, and it was extremely detailed, even down to the point of mentioning code sections that were going to be modified. By the way, the campaign pledge was to track and deport criminal illegals, and it's important to know, and I screamed my brains out all that summer to try to make people understand governors and state governments cannot deport anybody. But I understood the message. He was trying to show everybody how tough he was on illegal immigration. So fast forward to right now, when it's been 2 years since he was, a year since he was sworn in, a year since he's been sworn in. Anyway, the governor has not mentioned illegal immigration, not a peep. And I resent that more than I can possibly tell you. And I can tell you that Kathy Inman resents it. And I can tell you that a lot of Georgians resent it. So the reason for the telephone number is for people to call the governor's office. And I think you remember me explaining in the meeting that when you call the governor's office, you are going to be told by a staffer that whatever message you have will not be delivered to the governor because of your phone call, that you need to go online.
Wait a minute. Put up number one that has the phone number while DA. Sorry, DA. I want to put up number one. It has the phone number while you're talking. Okay, I'm sorry. You need to go online. When you call, it says you need to go online and do what?
Well, if you have a computer, you need to go online and fill out a form, a contact form for the governor, and send it in. Now, I resent that too. I don't need to be told by any elected official how I can deliver my message to him on a taxpayer-subsidized phone that is labeled constituent services. That may be a separate issue for people, but it's not for me. So we put the phone number up for the main purpose of ringing Governor Kemp's phones as much as possible, asking him what happened to the big truck. When are you going to address illegal immigration in Georgia, but the criminal aliens that you brought up in your campaign? We have absolutely no confidence that Governor Kemp is going to go after enforcement of our E-Verify laws or the employers who are drawing illegal aliens into Georgia. Now, that we know is not going to happen, but he ran on a pledge of going after criminal illegals, and he's not doing anything about the issue at all. He is hiding from it. He's missing in action. And when I explained this to Tom Homan, he verified it. He checked me out, and now Tom Homan is on our side in Georgia. We put the phone number up so that people could call. And that phone number, I hope, is on the screen.
Not to interrupt you, friend, Tom Homan said in a room full of people, folks, where I was sitting there, he said he made a couple phone calls. He said, DA and I had breakfast. We're going over everything. And he said, I made a couple phone calls to some local friends of mine here and said, is this true? And they said, absolutely. And I mean, Homan did not hold back Saturday on the pressure of the governor. What exactly, when we say campaign promises, so if I was to ask you, what exactly are you looking for Governor Kemp to do that a governor has the ability to do in his state? What are you looking for Governor Kemp to do where this illegal immigration is concerned?
Well, thank you for asking. I'm more educated on this than the average bear, and I can tell you that I've worked very hard for the last 15 years to help legislators put laws on the books to stop illegal employment or at least slow it down. So I would be very grateful if the governor would use his executive power to at least enforce the laws in place. But he ran on a promise of no sanctuary cities or no sanctuary governments. And we do have that in Georgia. We haven't heard a word from him about it. Here in Marietta, where I live, we had an illegal alien arrested last month for raping two teenagers. And it turns out he has been sexually molesting these two boys since they were 8 and 9 years old. 2 or 3 days later after that, we see a news story in the Marietta Daily Journal about an illegal alien killing a mom of 2. Now, I don't hear anything from Governor Kemp about the crimes and the lives lost due to illegal immigration and criminal illegals. What I'm looking for, and what I've been pushing for, is for the governor at least to honor his specific campaign pledge. This track and deport. He told us he was going to track and deport criminal illegals and create a database. Now, that has not happened. It's not just that it hasn't happened. It hasn't even been talked about. The legislature will do everything. Let me make this extremely clear. The legislature in general, and that does not include all legislators, but the legislature will go all day, all year, and all decade and ignore illegal immigration if they are allowed to. Nothing under that gold dome is going to happen on illegal immigration unless telephones start ringing. People have on their mind what they read in the media, see on the front page of their paper. And
Why?
The media is not going to be any help.
Why? I have to say, why? Why is nothing going to happen? I mean, I know.
Maybe... No, I get it. I mean, we're running out of time. So here's the deal. Illegal immigration is organized crime, and people ask me all the time, why are these people here? Why are illegal aliens in Georgia? And the simple answer is the most expensive part about running a business is the cost of labor. Illegal labor is cheaper than legal labor. They are here for those taxpayer-subsidized labor. What they don't make up in wages, the taxpayers front in health care and education. They are here because of the money. So what can be done? If you cut off illegal employment, people, if you are an illegal alien in Georgia and you can't get a job, you're going to leave for a state in which you can get a job. But again, I want to make it clear, if we're not going to go after that, at least honor your campaign pledge to go after the illegal aliens who have committed additional crimes here, and I mean additional into stealing Social Security numbers and coming into the country illegally and been working illegally.
You know, DA, I know a lot of people could not show up Saturday based on the weather and weather concerns, and we understand that. As I was driving down on 75, I was passing rows of salt trucks preparing for this winter storm. But let's not leave out the group that did. Now, we made it down, but there was still a pretty good group in that room that are serious about this. And just the fact that now Tom Homan will take it to the ear of the President of the United States, you know, seems like maybe the governor could get the message now, and it's possible.
Well, it could be, Brian. Let me say this. I'm sorry to interrupt. But
no, go ahead.
That will depend on several factors. If people listen to this radio broadcast, you and I having done at least 30 minutes on this, and if they know Tom Homan is telling people to call the governor's office, maybe they will do that. If the president gets in touch with Governor Kemp and says, listen, I heard from Tom Homan that, you know, you have betrayed me after I endorsed you on the issue that got me elected and you elected, that might do make some difference. But if people can listen to this and not pick up the phone and call their own state rep, their own state senator, and the governor's office, then I mean no offense to this, but if people aren't willing to at least make a couple of phone calls periodically, then maybe they should start to consider they deserve what they get. Really and truly, Georgia is home to more illegal aliens than green card holders. We have more illegal aliens here than Arizona. Tom Homan did not know that, but he does now. And we have the president's ear, if not today, at least one day this week, the president is going to find out much of what you and I have been talking about.
Well, my words, not yours. I read a lot of your posts. When you post things, I read almost everything. I'm just going from memory. My words, I'm going to say lightly, you're disappointed with the governor right now. Not to change subjects, but I'm going to. Would you like to weigh in on the Senate race while I have your ear? Or you want to stay away from that one right now?
I've learned not to get more issue than one. I can tell you that the more establishment Republican your candidate is, the less difference is going to be made on illegal immigration in Georgia or the country.
Okay, all right. I have been weighing in quite heavily on that race, so I like to give everybody a chance.
Well, Brian, let me. If your phone number is up, I hope people, when your show is over, not until, but when your show is over, I hope people will begin a daily phone call practice of calling Governor Kemp's office and their state senator and their state rep. There's more to this. There's a bill that the governor is pushing under the Gold Dome to reform what's called dual enrollment. And the anchor of the bill is we want more workers. And they're letting high school kids take college classes, which is funded by the taxpayer. But they're not putting any screening device in to make sure that illegal aliens in high school aren't getting a free ride in a college course. And what they're saying they want, the purpose of the bill is to create more workers. Well, why are we spending all this money to educate people in college if they're in the country illegally? Why don't we have a screening device in this law to make sure that people in the country illegally are not going from high school classes in the morning to college classes in the afternoon, and subsidized by the taxpayer?
Well, you know, DA, I'm glad you brought that up, because I remember a couple years ago the argument that went on about are illegals getting in-state tuition like they're from here, okay? You remember that very politically, football that was out there. And, you know, politicians would tell you, no, we are not going to pay. You know, we really shouldn't be giving illegals in our school system, Hope Scholarship. We should not be treating them as in-state students, tuition. And that's why folks out there, everywhere you hear in a lot of states, they're trying to abolish, and they're making it sound good, like in-state tuition. They're trying to abolish that, but here's the real reason why. And, you know, DA, you can correct me here in a minute. Because in Georgia, okay, I think it's called 999. You cannot, all right, government says you cannot deny a kid to enter school. You can't do it. If you go over and you are a grandparent, and we'll go with white, and you take your grandchild because you're raised over to the school, if you don't have all this documentation in hand, okay, your child can't come to school, your grandchild. But if you're not here legal and you have a 6-year-old kid that speaks English and takes mom and grandma over that can't speak any English, they can't ask any questions. They enroll the child as what they call a 999. Go look at your local schools. Look at how many of your local school systems are hiring ESL, English Second Language, in areas you never thought they would hire them, okay? Now, that being said, once that child's in public school and going through there, the government protects them, and then when they go for dual enrollment in high school, they still follow the high school rules of public school where you can't ask any questions, and there's no filter over at your local college if they want to get some credits, and you are paying for them to get college credits when politicians said they would never let that happen. Am I wrong?
You are 100% correct. I saw something on your very, very effective website where my friend and your friend, State Senator Steve Gooch, was boasting about the House Bill 444 passing through the Senate. House Bill 444 is the Governor Kemp bill to provide reform to this dual enrollment program. They changed the name and they modified what students are eligible somewhat, but they did not put in, and nobody mentioned, a screening device to make sure that illegal aliens are not taking a complete free ride in our college courses. And if we can't hire them legally, why are we educating them for free in the college when somebody who graduates from high school who's in the country illegally, they have a much more difficult time and they have to pay tuition. It's lunacy. But if the governor is doing this, perhaps he knows something we don't. Maybe he is aware that there's going to be another amnesty sometime in the next couple of years.
Well, here's the thing, DA, and I'm with you on that because dual enrollment, we are in an area up here where our kids have to travel in the past. When you're in Marietta, it's a little different, but when you're in rural Georgia, we have our kids going to high school and they have to drive long distance to go to college or dual enrollment. And we do have some nice campuses, small campuses, for a lot of the general studies that our kids in North Georgia can take advantage of. And it's being cheered, and I cheer it also to a point that our students are able to do the dual enrollment, but they leave the little part out about dual enrollment for illegals. So they leave.
They're not going to talk about it, Brian, unless people force them. This issue will not come out without the proper pressure. And I tried to make that clear on Saturday. I'm probably going to call Senator Gooch in a little while, leave a message at his office and see if he'll call me back. I hope people will not forget that illegal immigration, folks, Brian, is not a separate issue. It's not somehow separate from our taxes, our education, our health care, our national security, our common language. It is at the bottom of the pyramid of what we should be paying attention to, and it's the last thing that any elected official in Georgia or in Congress wants to talk about.
DA, we're out of time, but why don't you tell people about the Dustin Inman Society real quick, how they can go there, your website, Immigration Politics, and maybe how they can contribute and help. I know there was a lot of expense Saturday, a lot of expense, and I know the society, we met your board members. You have the 3 board members I met Saturday, great people. Let's close with that, how people can follow what you're doing and maybe help you out in your quest.
Well, I'm grateful for that. If somebody wants to help with money, and we need it, you can just Google GoFundMe DA King. A friend of mine was kind enough to put up a page on GoFundMe last fall. The DustinInSociety.org. It's an old clanky website. We're trying to find the money to finish our renewal. And something I'm extremely proud of that is rather new is immigrationpoliticsga.com. That's immigrationpoliticsga.com. I've created a news and opinion website where I'm trying to educate people, and you can get a lot of information from this immigrationpoliticsga.com website. And I am told that the elected officials are not real wild about this. But I'm grateful for the time. I'm forever grateful that you came down on Saturday. I'm not doing another event anytime soon, but we should have something like that in North Georgia and have people be exposed to what you were on Saturday sometime soon.
DA, thank you very much. Enjoy your day. We appreciate it. We're going to get this out on YouTube also, so you can share it everywhere about 10:30. Thank you very much, DA. You have a wonderful day. All right, folks, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and I want to get a little more detail on why I opened up with an apology to Kathy Inman. I want to go into that one more time. Now that you've listened to DA King, I want to go into that, and then we're going to close with, what's going to happen in New Hampshire tomorrow night, and will Joe Biden survive to get to South Carolina? We'll talk about that right after this break.
Hello, my name is Chad Watkins. I'm the manager at Larry's Body Shop. We are a family-owned and operated business and have been serving the North Georgia area since 1978. We are located at 1216 Progress Road in Ellijay, Georgia. Our shop specializes in collision repair, and we work with all major insurance companies. Larry's Body Shop is ICAR Gold, the highest role of training recognized by the collision repair industry. It is estimated that only 10% of collision shops meet these standards. Our shop consists of state-of-the-art equipment such as laser measurement system, down-drive spray booth, spot and MIG welding equipment. All of our paints are mixed on site so that we can guarantee your paint to match every time. I know that having an accident can be a stressful event. We take pride in making sure our customers are satisfied with the repair of their vehicles. Our waiting area is clean and comfortable with free Wi-Fi and refreshing beverages. So if you're in an accident, stop by and see us at Larry's Body Shop.
Circuit World has complete queen bedroom packages at amazing prices. Get this queen bed, dresser and mirror, one nightstand, bedding set, and free 32-inch TV, all for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. Or get this complete queen bedroom set and sleep in style, also for only $1799.99 or $129.99 a month. What an incredible deal! Stop in today at one of our 5 locations and get the furniture you've always wanted at Circuit World.
North Georgia Diamond is your source for diamonds in North Georgia.
Ace is your healthful place for paint and home goods, tools, outdoor living, and lawn equipment. But did you know Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge is a little bit more? We have hunting rifles and accessories for your next hunting trip. We have Amish furniture imported directly from Ohio. And we have Ace Custom Woodworks for all your custom wood project needs, from cabinets to artwork. Ace Hardware of Blue Ridge. We have your new house in stock.
Folks, we're back. I'm your host, BKP. Good morning from the office. North Georgia's Only Live. Looking for a couple notes here I had this morning. I hope I haven't misplaced them. It's here somewhere. Only Live online morning show. Looking for, where's those cards? All right. I've lost some business cards. Hang on. Don't everybody all get bent out of shape. I had them right here. Here they are. All right. So, couple quick things I want to go over before we leave. Let's go to, do you have number 29 ready? Because I just got them to you. Is that ready? If it is. All right, so here's the New Hampshire polling, okay? Bernie Sanders, 27, Buttigieg, 19. This is the Boston Globe, Suffolk University. Amy Klobuchar is coming in third, according to this poll. Biden is 12%, Elizabeth Warren 12%. So, Amy is grown 5%. Now, I'm of the one, and somebody would say, do you really believe they get back in these rooms and talk? Yes, I do. I do believe there's a certain group that gets back in the room and says, hey, this thing with Biden's not working. Let's move Amy up a little bit. Now, I could be totally wrong, but they do not want Bernie Sanders to be the nominee. Now, Buttigieg with 19%. Could he be the one, the boy who would be king, Peter Pan Buttigieg, could he be the one that if Mini Mike or Small Mike or whatever his name is, Bloomberg, cannot get the nomination, that he will put his money behind Peter Pan Buttigieg? The creation, stay with me on this. I've only got a couple minutes, but remember, if you've been with this show for very long, the creation of a candidate. Creation of a candidate, okay? Pete Buttigieg, the media has created this guy. Now, number 30 is Mike Bloomberg, is done an ad, be presidential. So what he has done is he has taken all of the deep state presidents, as I call them, and he has canned something nice, with the exception of Ronald Reagan, sorry about that. But he has taken all of these quotes from presidents, and he plays a clip, and then he plays something, I'd like to punch that guy, or I'd like what. He plays something Trump said, okay, side by side. And then I think the end of the commercial, he's trying to get you to believe or think it's time to bring back presidential. It's time to get the spies out of the White House. That's what it is. It is time to close the border off and only allow legal immigration. We are not against this country. The men and women in this country are not against legal immigration. It is time to do that, okay? So, anyhow, you got number 28. He's the boy that would be king, all right? Make or break in New Hampshire. They are doing everything they can to pump up Buttigieg, knock Biden off. Let me go through, we go through the pictures if you're new to the show this time of the day. Number 27, okay? Trump oust Vindman and Sondland, punishing key impeachment witnesses in post-acquittal campaign of retribution. Furthest thing from the truth, this is not retribution. It is part of draining the swamps. As Don Jr. said, hey, thank you, Adam Schiff, because you brought these spies in the White House to surface, and now we can get rid of them, okay? Donald Trump, watch and see what happens of the National Security Council inside the White House. Remember, I told you, Susan Rice, National Security Council, Obama, they leave a lot of trash behind. The president's just taking out the trash. Here it is, number 26, okay, New York Times. Republican senators tried to stop Trump from firing impeachment witnesses. They tried. Mr. President, please don't do that. The American people want it done. Clean house, Mr. President, okay? We showed you this one earlier. We'll do it again. Number 24. Trump targets enemies post-impeachment, okay? Let's go with the first 23 with Bernie Sanders on there, and I apologize to you. Sanders to seek partial recanvass of Iowa caucus results. They gave it to Peter Pan Buttigieg. They just gave it to him. Yeah, we're tired of trying. Here, Pete, you win. We move on. Bernie's like, wait a minute. I know. My internals say I did a lot better in some areas. Sorry, Bernie. Okay. I want to explain. Let's see if I can do this. Okay. Remember this AJC article 20 on this right here? Not, the other 20, I guess. If I have two 20s. Right there, Trump hints at Republican compromise and messy Georgia Senate race. This blew everything up last week. Everybody went nuts. If you need to know, if you need to show me some tape and get me to give you a read, AJC, anybody out there on the president. Now, I cannot guarantee accuracy because Donald could go left, right, down the center. I mean, that guy can carry the ball any which direction and elude the best. But if you ever want to know what the president was actually thinking and doing when he made some statements, get in touch with me, and I will see how I can help you out. All right? The twins are out. That is number 15. Number 15, there we go. That's all right, I had two of them. The 15's Vindman and his brother. Always have to show you that nice stare down, number 13. One of my favorite, okay. Speaker David Ralston and the Ice Princess. Number 11, just to say it one more time, the economy added a robust 200 and, what's that say there? I went past it too fast. 225,000 jobs. Now, quick explanation. You're trying to follow Collins and you're trying to follow, okay, Collins, Kelly Loeffler, in the Senate race. Let me remind you, number 23, the NRSC with the elephant. Just a going away gift here. That's the National Republican Senatorial Committee, all right? That's what they were trying to do. They were trying to push senators into the impeachment trial to cast votes because they would hope to flip the Senate. They're hoping, they know they're not going to win the election, the presidency, but they were hoping to flip the Senate and get rid of none other than Mitch McConnell. All right, let's go to 22, the one that says Democrat Amy McGrath. Just a going away. Another one, another 22. Democrat Amy McGrath. This is in January, just a month ago. The other 22. How many 20? There we go. This is my fault, folks, not their fault. Amy McGrath enters 2020 with 9 million war chest against Mitch McConnell. Okay, Mitch McConnell. All right. Let's go to number 21. The 2020 candidates got together to discuss one of their biggest threats. Okay. No, not Donald Trump. Right there, Mitch McConnell. Right. They want, this comes from Mother Jones. Is that the website? They got together, trust me, they want rid of Mitch McConnell. All right. And this is number 20. Let's go to number 20. That is Amy McGrath and Mitch McConnell in Kentucky. So, Mitch McConnell needs money. And where do you go to get money? Okay? You get a senator and you bring her in. I would love to do open records. I would love all transparency, okay? I mean, I like my Governor Brian Kemp, but I think we need a whole lot of transparency here Because number 24, the guy that's the head of the New York Stock Exchange, has right there, Kelly's husband, Jeffrey. Jeffrey has $30 billion laying around. He could buy eBay. Okay? Now you look up, and I'm going to ask you before I close, you look up the article from the AJC, not me. Now, I don't know. I do not know if this man had anything to do with it. I can't claim that on this show. But remember the commodities, which he is the largest commodities broker in the world, the United States. Remember the commodities company, the grain company or something in Kentucky, that Governor Brian Kemp, okay, did a promissory note, something like $500,000, and then they went under and there's no way to collect the money. Remember that? They went bankrupt. Well, this commodities company has come out of nowhere, has purchased the company, and my understanding is they've made everybody whole. Everybody's in the green now. Interesting. You look it up. It's on the AJC. Just look it up. That company's in the green. Mitch McConnell needs a whole lot of money. Whole lot of money. So if you get a governor to appoint a billionaire to the Senate and they do everything this man wants, maybe, you get a whole lot of money. So take that down. Let me wrap up with this, okay? These are my kind words. Number 2. Let's do this segment. This is a segment. Number 2, we're closing with it. DA is one damn tough Marine. He just is, man. I mean, he said Saturday, we got to keep this on track. He's a tough damn Marine, all right? But he served his country, and he's standing there with Tom Homan, 34 years, Border Patrol, had served his country. They're great Americans. They're not asking these politicians to do anything outrageous. They're not. They're not asking these politicians to do something to hurt anybody. They're not. They're just asking for us to enforce the laws on the books, create other laws that will stop illegals from coming here and taking part of welfare, housing, schools, medication, health care, and getting jobs, and then the end all, maybe possibly killing somebody not supposed to be in this country. Number 9, you go to one of these events and you sit there in the room and you hear Marianne Mendoza talk about her son, and you read the story, and she says that picture there, that's where she visits her son. Somebody that should have never been in this country, should have never been in this country, killed by an illegal. Go listen to the story. And then number 8, right here in Ellijay, Georgia, Kathy Inman. It's Father's Day weekend. They're going on a fishing trip. It's Billy, Kathy, and their son Dustin, and I think he's 16 years old. And they're rear-ended right over here, not a mile from where I'm talking this morning at the Burger King, by an illegal that should have never been in this country. Slams into them. And I went all the way to Atlanta to hear this lady that lives here in Ellijay say that she cries out in the morning for Billy and Dustin to come help her. She's in a wheelchair from the injuries. And to wake up in a hospital and find out, 1, your son is dead, and 2, they already buried him. And I can't... That one is and when I met Kathy Saturday, number 3, Governor Kemp, you got a lot of support in rural Georgia because you did the big truck. A lot of support in rural Georgia. And number 1, Tom Homan, former director of ICE, stood up Saturday and said, he called ICE agents here in Atlanta, and he said, hey, do I need to give this governor a hard time? And they said, absolutely, absolutely. You need to get on to this governor. He has the president's ear. I'm going to get out early just because I don't want to try to go over something else on top of that. Thank you to the audience. Don't forget, let's put up how people get in touch with me. It's election time. We'll get back on elections tomorrow, 706-889-9700. You can text me, you can email me, and you can always follow us on social media. I'm your host, BKP. We are out.